What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes always deliver the big names here on the show. Today we get to talk to Derek Brunson, who just signed with the PFL, already has a fight coming up against Ray Cooper III. Welcome back, Derek. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good. So you move quickly. Like all
I
this
move
moves
fast,
quick.
man. I move fast, man. I got 4 kids, man. I'm no spring chicken.
Yeah, no, those rumors of a UFC fight at the end of the year. Dejected, Cannonier, I can't remember what. Next thing you know, you're with the PFL. Next thing you know, you're already booked to fight at their finals. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. We got some new exciting things going on with PFL. Had a great time in the UFC, a great run there. But now I'm getting a little job promotion.
Now, let me ask you something. You were very active on Fight Night. You were a very popular fighter to follow on Twitter and all that. Um, are you gonna miss the UFC? Like, did that kind of hurt for that to end? I know you're gonna say nice things about the PFL. We love the PFL. They're on ESPN. They got great cards. We cover them. But I guess I want to close that book and just see how you feel about all that.
Am I gonna miss the UFC? No, I'm not gonna miss the UFC. I'm still gonna watch. I love MMA, so I'm gonna watch all MMA. Uh, but yeah, UFC is just an organization. Happens to be the organization everybody want to fight for. Most of the top fighters, but yeah, we had a great time there. But definitely love being in PFL, and I was very excited about the move there.
What was it about the PFL? Maybe you can name three things that said come this way and you liked hearing. I guess there's a schedule that keeps you busy. There's that huge prize at the end of the day. Maybe it was the respect, the way they approached you. Have you had time to think about like what was it that drew you there?
Yeah, the $1 million. They got the $1 million tournament. Guys stay busy. There's no lobbying for what you want. You go out and get it. So like UFC, man. I think in some of these title eliminators, I was on these huge 5-fight winning streaks twice, and I never got a title shot. I was kind of like right after the fight that I felt like, okay, I win this when I get a title shot, and I didn't get it. I kind of felt dejected and lacking motivation, and just kind of wasn't getting up for the fights. But now I got a new motivation.
That's fair. Okay. A lot of fighters have told us the same things. You kind of control your own destiny. Your words, you said it. You're no longer spring chicken. Can you hold up that pace? I mean, you almost are in one long camp, starting somewhere in February, all the way to the end.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny, like the last 5 years, I did no road work, no running really. So I've been running actively for about 6 weeks now, and I'm going to continue that going on because I was looking at some of my fights, and I'm like, I'm killing these guys. Even with Cannonier, I mean, first round could have been a 10-8. Uh, with Drickus, I mean, damn, 10-9. I was putting it on him, almost finished him towards the end of the first round. But I'm destroying these guys in the first round, and then I fade in the second round. And then I'm like, damn, I start running and I start feeling better. I'm like, damn, how come I haven't been doing this? Or how can it hasn't been a point of emphasis all these years? I know I wrestled in college, and the doctor's like, hey, it's probably, take a little break on the running. You can do strength and conditioning and stuff like that. So, yeah, with my new training methods, I believe, that I'll be up for it and look good in these fights, especially in the late rounds also.
Derek, how important is it to find that right recipe? Because right now, what you were just talking about, I imagine amongst fighters, there are so many fighters that say, this is what worked for me. And you try it out and you realize, well, that's what worked out for him, but not for me. And the reason I asked this question is because the PFL, we interview a lot of fighters. And we'll have this first interview with them like we're doing with you. And then a year later, they'll go, I underestimated it. I didn't listen to everyone or this and that. It was a lot different. How important is it trying to figure out what that right recipe is now before you go into the season? Do you take in a lot of input, or is it all Derek Brunson?
I'm just gonna whoop a lot of ass. I'm gonna stick to what I've been doing always, and I'm just gonna add into it. Like I said, I haven't been doing road work, and that's like the most essential thing when it comes to fighting. I'm like flabbergasted that I haven't made that recollection up until this point. Like, you gotta run, you gotta do road work. It helps you get with that pace in the late round. So make sure I keep that up, and I think I'll be plenty fine. Like, I'm not getting in trouble in these fights with skill. Like, I'm out skilling everyone. It's just, again, and it's not like I'm not working hard. It's not like I'm sitting on the couch eating donuts or eating insomnia cookies or something like that. I'm out here training, 6, 7 days a week, working really hard, but I was forgetting one asset. So just like I said, adding that to my game.
Is it a difficult road when you think about the PFL to like do you feel like you're going to be able to fight the way you fight or do you have to kind of like almost tone it down a little bit because of, having to stay healthy and all that? Like what do you think happens when fight night actually comes around for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go out and fight my fight. I can't say to myself that it's been any one guy that really was better than me that I've fought. I feel like there were some things that I could have done better or in the fight or leading up to the fight that would have been better for me. So yeah, I'm just go out here and fight my fight, be skilled and be in great shape, and I feel that we'll go pretty far with that.
Ray Cooper is that type of guy that just comes forward and he doesn't stop. Is that the type of fight that you invite? Like, do you like those type of guys, or would you rather just kind of maybe ease into this fight a little bit? Because this dude, like, this is no joke. Ray Cooper's a tough guy.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a tough guy. Um, I like how we match up. He likes to bring the action, and I see some of the things that he do plays into what I do really well. So, um, yeah, it's only one way to find out. But like I said, I like where I'm at. I like this fight a lot.
Derek, you brought up 4 kids. And I think this is something that gets lost a lot when we interview fighters, when people think about decisions fighters make. I think as fans, a lot of people look at it as the belt, the belt, the belt, having that mantle, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, and maybe even in your position, $1 million, that sounds like it goes a long way too, right? Where do you stand on belts and money? And then some people say the belt leads to money. Where do you stand on all that?
Hey, give me the $1 million every day of the week. I can go out here, fight a couple times, get my million, and just chill for a little bit, recover. So yeah, I definitely like that format, and it goes back to I don't have to lobby for anything. All I have to do is just win fights. I can win a knock somebody out, I can submit somebody, I can win an ugly fight, but at the end of the day, I move on and advance, and then I can improve in the next fight. I don't have to. Oh, it wasn't a great fight, so maybe I have to fight another one. Like, yeah, I don't have to do all that. I just go out there and win.
I don't want to be a negative Nancy here, but this is the truth, and I'm sure you know it. A lot of UFC vets have gone to the PFL and just not done well. Whether it was that first season or just overall, have you examined it? And I know you're you and you're different, but there's got to be something to the fact that like there's literally like 5 or 6 of them now. Um, Again, could it be the turnaround or what? Are you worried about it? Have you thought about it?
I haven't thought about it. I'm not worried about it. I would say you get everybody's best punch. Let's take Colorado football with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. You know, every team that plays them want to beat them just because they're in the spotlight. Because of Deion Sanders, because of everybody. They're America's team right now, so they're gonna get everybody best punch. So I would say that would probably play into some of the things. You got a guy like myself coming from the UFC. I've been in the UFC for I don't know 12 years, 13 years, however long. I've had 20 plus fights there. So like anytime a guy get opportunity to fight me, they're like, hey, this is my chance to show what I'm about and get some respect here. So yeah, the people that's coming from the UFC, we're gonna get everybody else best fight, but I'm definitely up for that.
Ray Cooper, the fights at middleweight I saw. Can you tell us, is there a middleweight division next year? Are you in the middleweight tournament next year?
I don't know anything about a middleweight tournament. I know this fight's at middleweight, and then the plan is 205 after this fight.
Ah, okay. So that'll be less stress on your body in terms of at least that facet of mixed martial arts. The what do they call it? The real fight. The fun
Yeah,
is on fight night. The real fight's making weight.
yes, indeed.
Is that what you wanted? Was that music to your ears, or would you have preferred a 185 weight class?
Oh no, I mean that's what I wanted. That's what I like. I figured, man, some of these fights, the weight cuts were like awful, and then I get into the fight and I'm not fully hydrated, then I'm faded big. Like, that's a big factor in sports also. MMA is tough, man. It's one of the toughest, has to be the toughest sport. It's a fight. You can go out here in these other sports, you can go about 10%, you can not give your all. You can take plays off. You take a play off in an MMA fight, that's the end of the fight, and you're really risking yourself. So, like being able to hydrate and nutrition and stuff like that. I'm going to hire a nutritionist, what I never done before. Like I'm going to handle all those type of things, which are big parts into being successful.
We don't talk to many 40-year-old, or you're 39. You'll be 40 when the season starts, but we don't talk to many other than maybe at heavyweight. That's more common. What can you attribute to being a long-lasting fighter? I mean, we covered you since sorry, it was called Show Fights, but it was part of
Sure,
the
yeah,
Strike Force and all that. Then the UFC 20 fights that you had there. That's quite a career. And now PFL, a lot of other people exit with a lot of injuries. They just, they can't handle it. What do you attribute, your longevity?
yeah. I would say I had consistency over all the years. I still do the same things that I done starting day one. I train twice a day. I take care of my body. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Hang out with my kids. Man, I just live a great life. In terms of like, I'm a t-ball coach for heaven's sakes. I coach my son's t-ball like with a whole bunch of 4 and 5 year olds. So that's fun to me. Like I don't get into all the partying and all that other stuff. I'm more of a family guy. And yeah, I just like to sit back, have fun. And I think whenever you're trying to have longevity, you definitely got to have a good support system and make sure that you have a good group of people around you who are like want to see you succeed and make sure they push you in the right direction.
That's great to hear. But in MMA, it can be a big party scene after the fights. Do you
Yeah.
just stay away from after parties, or do you have the strength to go down and turn down a drink? And when everyone wants to blaze up, you go in the other direction. How do you deal with that?
Funny enough, I never smoked and I never drank in my whole life. And I've been around alcohol and drugs like my whole life. Like it's not me. Like it don't interest me. I can go out and have a good time without that. Like I'm always on a natural high. So I don't need to like get out of my mind to like or have a drink to go talk to a female. I'm married now, but we're talking about in the past. But I don't need to have a drink to do that. Or I don't need to smoke to have a good time. Like I'm always having a good time. I'm always chill. I'm always never too high, never too low. So like that's a fun fact.
Wow, no drink and no marijuana ever in your life.
Never. You can fact check me. Ask anybody who knows me.
I believe you. I believe you. Without getting too personal, was it just something from the past that haunted you and you didn't want to be a part of it? Was this a decision you just decided to make on your own?
No, I always wanted to be different. I was always chill. Like I always was like good. Like my whole life I was never too high, never too low. Like even after a fight, I knocked Machida out in Brazil in his backyard. I was the underdog, and after the fight, I was like, oh man, good thing we did this for the fight. I thought it was gonna be a little bit tougher. It's never no like super like on 100, even though I'm super happy, but I'm like I said, my whole life I've been on like never too high, never too low. Like I never get depressed or I'm never low because I don't allow myself to, whereas I get happy, but I never like extreme to the top to where I reach my peak that I can't get any happier.
Man, this is
It's amazing.
is this an intervention for us? It's starting to feel that
Yeah,
way.
you guys don't know me, man. I used to be a therapist before I started fighting. A lot of people don't know that also. So yeah, man, I got a lot of little fun facts, little interesting stuff.
How come no gray hair? I'm barely older than you. And look at this.
Blind
Man.
Brunson, man. You don't get gray hairs when you're blind Brunson.
Even down here, you didn't do none of that Grecian or nothing like that?
Not yet, man. I got a few. I just pluck them.
So you got a psych degree or something like that?
Criminal justice and minor in like sociology.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that basically answers my question about the longevity. I mean, your body just hasn't been through the toll roads that other people have to go through, you know what I mean, and pay for us outside of fighting, it sounds like. So that's actually pretty amazing. And I can't imagine how anybody wouldn't be motivated just when they hear this interview, if they're at a crossroads or they're just young and haven't made stupid decisions or anything like that. That's pretty inspiring.
Yeah, for sure. If any young fighter is listening, I would say, definitely, take care of your body, man. You don't have to do all these crazy things. Just keep working hard, consistency. You don't have to do all these crazy drugs to get yourself to a certain level. Just work hard, If you gave your best and never achieved, then that's good enough. But if you go out here and try to cut areas and all stressed out along the way, then what are you really doing?
Now we all have vices, and I saw that you're the parlay king. So is gaming kind of like a little bit of where you dabble on the dark side?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like to gamble, and yeah, I like to gamble. I would say.
Big time or little time? Like just $25 parlay, or are you like throwing some big numbers out there?
No, I'm not Anthony Pettis crazy. You ever see his parlay, his bets?
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
about
see,
them. Yeah.
I don't like those crazy bets like that, but I'll throw $1,000 parlay. Yeah, I get a little bit crazy. But I'm parlays are my thing, man. What gets me is the straight bets. I absolutely hate straight bets. Like I feel like I don't care what the book says. I just feel like that's the most sucker bet. It's almost like Vegas or the books just give you this little like, oh, take this minus 250 just to get you to bet it, and they just swipe you. You know. So yeah, I hate straight bets.
Okay, so you don't like betting the favorites because you have to give up so much to win so little. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and then also too, like let's say a parlay, I'd rather take that's the case, if it's like a minus 175, like before, I used to bet like a minus 310. And when I say I've probably lost like 6 or 7 out, even 3 out of 10 is bad because it takes all your profit from your other games. Like if you
Hmm.
lose two minus 300s, you got to win like I would say 8 to 9 minus 200s in a row or something like that. Like it gets bad, man. So yeah, man, I like to use my mind and string together some good bets and kind of like bring those odds down a little bit. I think that's the best way to gamble.
Well, the good thing is we're talking about all the gambling that took place way before UFC enforced it, so no worries there. And now you're with PFL. I don't know what their rules are going to be, but it sounds like I haven't heard anything out of them. Um, hey, we're all adults, right? We make these
Right, right.
decisions.
There
Yeah.
we go.
All right. Well, listen, we're pumped up. I mean, the turnaround's so quick. There's no wondering where you're going to be or nothing like that. Poor Kayla Harrison went through like 6 months of us trying to figure out, is she going to land at Bellator, UFC, back with PFL? She landed back with PFL. So much time went by. But yeah, you guys made some fast and great decisions over there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thanks for the time. Always great to catch up with you.
All right, see you guys. Thanks.